A powerful mudslide swept through a border crossing between Nepal and China's Tibet region on Wednesday, August 26, 2026, after torrential rainfall triggered severe flooding and landslides across the Himalayan border area. Surveillance footage captured the terrifying moment the disaster struck near the Jirang border port. Several people can be seen moving rapidly away from the area as birds suddenly take flight and a vehicle travels along the road. Within seconds, a huge surge of mud, floodwater and debris crashes through the crossing. The fast-moving torrent overwhelms nearby buildings and infrastructure, rapidly filling the camera's view with thick mud and silt. Roads are cut off, and access to the area becomes severely restricted. The mudslide occurred amid widespread flooding and exceptionally heavy rainfall affecting parts of the Himalayan border region. The steep mountainous terrain, narrow valleys, and fast-flowing rivers make the area particularly vulnerable to flash floods and landslides during periods of extreme weather. The full extent of casualties from the mudslide remains uncertain. Emergency teams have faced significant difficulties reaching affected areas because roads have been damaged and communications and electricity supplies have been disrupted. Authorities have warned that the disaster could have caused substantial loss of life and extensive property damage. At least 9 people have been confirmed dead in the wider flooding, while hundreds of others remain unaccounted for. Nepalese tourism authorities have reported that at least 384 travelers were missing following the flooding in the border region. Among those reported missing are 291 foreign nationals, including at least 105 Indian citizens. The large number of missing people has raised fears that the final death toll could increase as rescue teams gain access to areas that remain isolated by damaged roads, landslides, and floodwaters. The mudslide also caused major disruption on the Chinese side of the border. Road access, electricity, and communications in nearby areas were affected, further complicating rescue and recovery operations. Chinese authorities have called for an extensive search for missing people and urged emergency services to make every possible effort to save lives. Officials have also stressed the importance of monitoring unstable terrain and strengthening early warning systems because continued rainfall could trigger further landslides and flooding. The surveillance footage demonstrates the extraordinary speed at which a landslide can transform an apparently passable road and populated area into a dangerous flood of mud and debris. The people visible in the recording appear to recognize the approaching danger and begin moving away only moments before the crossing is overwhelmed. The Himalayan border region is particularly exposed to natural disasters because settlements, roads, and border infrastructure are often built within narrow valleys surrounded by steep mountain slopes. During extreme rainfall, landslides and flash floods can occur with very little warning, potentially cutting off communities and preventing emergency responders from reaching those in danger. Search and rescue operations are continuing as authorities on both sides of the border work to locate missing people, restore damaged infrastructure, and establish the full scale of the destruction. Officials have not yet established how many people were present at the border crossing when the mudslide struck. As rescuers reach previously inaccessible areas, the number of confirmed casualties could change. For families still waiting for news of missing relatives and travelers, rescue operations remain the immediate priority. The dramatic surveillance footage provides a stark record of the disaster and shows just how little time people had to escape before the border crossing was consumed by mud, water, and debris.